Hey everybody, welcome back to the vlog. Thank you so much for joining me once again for tea time. So today we have a little rose hips and green tea with a little bit of sage honey, as I just absolutely love. You guys know that. Anyways, really good stuff. So thank you once again for joining me. Today, I want to talk about the 90D versus the EOS M6 Mark II. I didn't talk about it in the last video. This is, I guess, like a 90D update video, let's just say. I got a lot of flack from people saying, hey, what did you think about that EOS M6 Mark II that came out at the same time? They're basically the same. Well, that was one of the reasons why I didn't talk about it, because they're basically the same. The sensor is the same. The internal guts are basically the same. The differences you have in OVF versus the EVF, and you have a little bit more frames per second. You have a little bit worse battery life on the mirrorless and whatnot. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about it a little bit and give you my thoughts on it, and then I want to hear from you. What do you think? Because I was looking on the internet today, because we do have our internet back, thank God. And the hurricane that I told you about in the last video just kind of stalled about 150 miles due east of us and has just been sitting there pummeling the Bahamas. Unbelievable. Just my heart goes out to those people. 185 mile per hour winds with maximum gusts sustained at like 220 mile per hour. There's a lot of lives that have been lost, so definitely pray for the people over there in the Bahamas. It's just crazy. It was, the last time I looked, moving at 1 mile per hour, guys. 1 mile per hour. Those sustained winds of 185 mile per hour have been going on for like a day and a half straight. I don't know how structures can withstand it. Anyways, that being said, back into the Canon EOS 90D as well as the M6 Mark II. Some of you guys are going to be mirrorless fans, and some are going to be DSLR fans, all right? I would like to see a hybrid. Right? I think there's positive things on both sides. You guys know it. And I've made myself pretty much clear about that. Now, like I always say, there's a lot of these videos that I watch. People are like, oh, you really should go this way, or you should go that way, or this is better because of that. I don't do that. All right. I'm going to tell you what I like based on what I need it for, what I use this stuff for. All right. I don't have a horse in the race. I'm not being sponsored by a certain company to tell you to go this way or that way. So whatever I say is just my opinion. And you just take it with a big helping of salt. All right. Not even a grain, a big helping of salt, and do your own due diligence. Okay. What is important to you? Like for me, I like an OVF. All right. I just always have. Now, have I seen EVFs that are really good? Yes, absolutely. I have. And they look really amazing. And if you like to have that WYSIWYG, that what you see is what you get in a camera, look through it and make changes and see exactly what the changes are going to look like before you pull the trigger, an EVF is definitely where you need to go. That is where you need to be. It just simply works. They work really well. Now, when they first came out, mirrorless, the EVFs were basically trash. All right. They weren't good. The pixels were not that great. The pixel density, what you saw was just kind of nasty. And you had like flicker and you had blackout. And there was just a lot of stuff that was going on that I just didn't like. All right. But today, if you really like an EVF, it's okay. It is literally okay, because what you see really is what you're going to get. There's not any blackout, so to speak. It looks really nice. And the little LCDs in there are really dense now. They're packed with those dots, so that what you see really looks nice and crisp in comparison to 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. All right. So the EVF to me is could be an issue for some of you guys, all right? And if you want an EVF, then absolutely an EOS M6 Mark II will be your bag, all right? Now, the reason I picked the 90D as being an awesome vlogger's camera, and I'm going to stick with it even now a couple of days later, is because of that back articulating screen that goes forward, backwards, sideways. It's fully articulating, and it does flip forward. So if you're recording video of yourself like I am right now, I can see myself in this monitor, in this LCD without a problem. With the EOS M6 Mark II, it flips up. Now, You've heard me in the past with the M3, the M5, the M6, all the rest of them. Some of them flip down, some over to the top, and it was always an issue. Either you had a tripod in the way, or you had a hot shoe problem where you couldn't attach a EVF, or you couldn't attach a shotgun mic if you were going to flip that screen up. Well, the EOS M6 Mark II has that same problem where the screen flips up. Some people would say, well, that's not a problem. Well, if you're doing vlogging, chances are you want to get external audio, and you don't want to get the audio that's coming out of the camera. Now, of course, you can put a lapel mic on and then dub that onto it in post-production and get rid of the crappy audio that you get from these cameras. Absolutely 100% you can do that. But if you want to use like a Rode shotgun mic and you want to stick it on the top of the camera, you cannot do it very well with the EOS M6 Mark II. Why? Because then you can't see yourself anymore. Is that a problem? Now, if we're going to stick it onto a tripod, it's probably not a problem. You don't need to see yourself because the dual pixel AF that Canon uses is phenomenal. And now that it has eye tracking too, you really don't have to worry about yourself going out of focus. Now, if you're running and gunning and running around, you know, I kind of want to see myself. I want to make sure that I set up the scene, what it looks like behind me. Because we know 80% of a good shot, right, is what's behind you. So many people shoot photos that are professionals that haven't learned that simply the background is as important or even more important than the foreground. How many people have shot images that you look at them, you're like, God, that is an awesome image. And then you'll see like a sign sticking out the person's head. Right? You can't do it. Composition, so very important. And if you can see yourself on a screen that's fully articulated, pointing forward, composition is easy if you're running and gunning. Like I said, if it's on a tripod, it simply doesn't matter. Now, one of the other major things that you guys were talking about was 24p. You're like, God, Joe, you didn't talk about 24p. To be honest, I don't care. And the reason it's important to you is because you shoot 24p. It's not important to me because I've never shot 24p. I personally do not like a cinematic movie look to my vlogs. All right. Some people just absolutely love it. Some people have convinced themselves that they love 24p because over the years, 24p were just not so big, the files, right? You just have less frames. Currently, I'm shooting at 60 frames per second, 60p. Why? Because I like the way this looks. It looks like you're literally sitting here with me. Some people are like, God, I can't even look at you in 60p. You are scary, Joe. So once again, to each his own. To each his own. I don't care that this camera doesn't do 24p. I just don't. I really don't care. So that being said, a lot of you have said, well, how about if Canon would do a firmware update to now allow 24 frames per second in these cameras? My retort to that is don't hold your breath. All right. I've shot Canon for 20 plus years. Don't hold your breath. They don't do smart things. They do stupid stuff all the time. And I'm used to it and I'm okay with it. All right. That's just simply the way it is. 24 frames per second. They don't think that it's important or they would have put it in there. That's it. That is really simply it. I know it's stupid. They could do it, but they don't. Why? I don't know. The same reason why in past cameras, they would crop the hell out of 4K, or they would just turn off dual pixel AF. And now you don't have DPAF in your video if you're shooting 4K. Thank God they've listened to us and said, you know what? We're going to give you dual pixel AF. We're going to give you the full 4K. That's nice. That is nice. Now, which one to pick? For me, I look at the mirrorless option as a really good option if people want something lightweight and they want to just be able to go out there and shoot. They get the EVF. They can see, once again, WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get. If you like that, it's the same camera as the 90D. It is a really, really strong option. Great option. Other people have said, well, should we go with the M lenses or should we go with EF lenses and adapt them? To me, I think go with the EF lenses. I do not like adapters. You guys know that. I've said it many times in the past. But in this case, I would probably say go with an adapter because I don't think the M lenses are going to be around forever. But the EF lenses will be around forever. Okay? Yeah, we now have RP and whatnot. But I think EF, they have such a just mountain of EF lenses. I just don't see them going away. I see EFS eventually going away. I see the M going away, but EF will not. And of course, RP is where they're going to move forward. So what's the way to go? I think that if you want to go mirrorless, then I would pay for their kit. Their kit, their bundle comes with an EVF in it. You don't have to go pay $200 after the fact, which I think is ridiculous. I wouldn't do it. It comes with a lens, it comes with the EVF and the body. That's the way I would do it. But bear in mind, you're going to be paying like the same price for the mirrorless as you do with the 90D. Now, back to the question. Do you want mirrorless or do you want DSLR? I think the 90D today is getting closer to that hybrid. You flip that mirror up and now you have a 90D mirrorless camera. Not quite the same. You don't have an EVF. You can't see what you're doing. You have to hold it out, of course. But remember, you have that fully articulating back panel. So if I'm shooting video, I could be shooting down low, waist height. I could be shooting up in the air. I could be shooting to the side. I can switch that screen any which way that I want it. And I can still see what is going on. That is so powerful for me. All right, very, very powerful for me. So I wouldn't personally go with an EOS M6 Mark II over the 90D. What would you guys do? Where do you stand on this? All right, I want to hear from you. This has been like this really almost like a tender spot with a lot of people. They want to go mirrorless, but they're not sure yet. And then they see Canon come out with these two cameras, which are basically identical. I think Canon was stupid. All right, but there's nothing new here. That's not news. All right, that's not news. They do crazy shit. Okay, that's just what they do. They just do stuff that anyone that's a professional for many, many years will look at and be like, why the hell did you do that? I don't get it. And there's never an answer to that. That's just what they do. They're Canon, guys. They're Canon. All right. So that being said, I want to see what you have to say. In the comment area below this video, please tell me what you think. What would you go for if you like Canon at all? If you're a Sony guy, it really won't matter. If you're a Nikon guy, you don't care either. But if you're a Canon guy, what would you do? Do you like the EOS M6 Mark II or do you like the 90D as of today? Where do you stand? And this is not a mirrorless to DSLR war. I don't want to get into that. Just what camera works better for you. And that's why I've always said, remember, what I say is just for what my needs are, not for what you need. And that's why I'm asking you right now, what are your needs? Right? So that's it, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. That would be awesome. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you can get all my videos when they become available, and click the bell icon so when they are available, you will be notified of it. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools that I've invented for you and me over the years, and hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me. That would be awesome. So I'm heading back out. I'm going to go and probably do a few more shutters. You can see I'm kind of jacked up here. Hopefully this thing doesn't hit us at all. That would be stellar. We will see you in the next vlog. Many blessings to all of you. Take care, guys.